All right, yoginis and yogis, today we have tree pose, aka Vrikshasana, one of my favorite poses. I say that every time, but this is an extremely playful pose. It's got all these, I don't know, playful qualities to it, so I like to kind of play around, be creative, and yeah, challenge. So if you want to check out tree pose with me, let's hop down on that mat. Tree pose is not only playful, but it's also got a lot of balancing qualities to it, and focus. It's a way to find the drishti, as we say. So in Sanskrit, that is a focus, but it's kind of a more Jedi kind of focus. And it strengthens the legs, the core, the mind. It really works with all those little tiny stabilizer muscles we need to balance. So without further ado, let's get in to tree pose. We're going to start as we normally do, finding our mountain pose. Feet hip width, toes facing forward. Tiny, tiny, tiny little micro bend in the knees. Hands on the hips at first. And then we're going to shift all of our weight into our left leg. We're going to start to pick up our right leg. And if we're not feeling super balanced today, option one here is keep those toes down on your mat, heel just above the ankle. And this is tree pose number one. Now if we're feeling a little bit more balanced, it can help to find a focus point now, finding something that's not moving out in front of you. Try to get that laser focused Jedi sensei sensations going. And then maybe you want to take that foot and place it on the calf. And if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous today, you can always just reach down, grab that foot, place it into the upper thigh. So if you've gone here with me, this is where it starts to get challenging. Toes should be facing down. All right, it's hard to demonstrate, talk, and think about camera angles. All right, so foot is here. I'm gonna take that off because that's a little challenging. Foot is here. Toes facing down towards the mat. Knee is opening up to the side, but doesn't have to be super open, just whatever feels good on the hips. Most important part here is we're really grounding down through this standing leg. And maybe you can see it here. I'm gonna start to push down and lift my body, my upper body, kind of out of my hip zone. And that creates a little bit more length through this left side. And then also another key here is we're pushing that right foot into the left leg, and we're hugging our left hip in. So we're creating this bind, this lock right here. Now, if your foot has found its way down here on the knee joint, try to choose either this one or this one. Because when we're pressing in like that, you're pressing in on the knee joint, and that's not so great for that knee joint. So once you've found that stability, hands are on the hips at first. Remember that focus point. And then maybe if you feel ready, you can take the hands to heart center. Keep pushing down, lengthening through the left leg. Binding, locking in the center, pressing that right foot into the thigh, hugging the left hip in. And then maybe again, taking those hands a little bit higher. Traditionally, hands pressed together, shoulders down, away from the ears. I prefer shoulder width, energy through the fingers, or even wider into a beautiful tree. And then here I like to challenge the students a little bit. Maybe bring a smile to your face, kind of throws you off. Or maybe you want to wave the hands around, even challenging that balance a little bit more. And if you're falling all over the place in class or where you're watching this video, don't worry about it. We're just practicing here. An option, you can just place your hand against a wall and do it to the side of that wall. And that can really help able you to find that engagement in the core and the center line of the body here. And also, if you're falling all over the place, I'd like to invite you to just think about what happened. What was your first initial thought when you fell out of that pose? Did you give yourself a critical word, or were you more like patting yourself on the back and let's try it again attitude? And let's release that foot back down because my left leg's getting really tired. Whew, shake it out. All right, so if you are that person that maybe gave yourself that critical thought, try not to repeat the cycle by criticizing yourself for criticizing yourself. Instead, try to change it up next time. Next time you fall out of the pose, maybe just try saying, oh well, we'll do it again. That's why it's called a practice. So I'll give you that chance now. Let's shift the weight over into the right leg. Hands on the hips. Find the drishti point. Take your option, either down low, medium, or all the way up into the thigh, remembering to not place it on that knee joint. Toes are facing down. Knee is opening as wide as we can. Pressing down into that right standing leg, lifting up out of the hip. Left foot pressing in, right hip hugging in, creating the bind. Maybe engagement in the lower belly here to kind of lift the Mula Bandha. Maybe we feel like we can bring the hands to heart center. And then maybe they come all the way up. Your choice, hands together, shoulder width, nice and wide. Maybe whoo-wee, give a smile. If you're falling all over the place, maybe come to a wall. Or maybe just say, that was my practice today. I learned something. My muscles got stronger. It's all good. Hands to the heart. Gently release that left leg back down. When you release, try to release with control. Don't just let it go down. So we're always, every movement, trying to be mindful, controlled, aware of the body. Finding mountain pose. Whew. Taking that time to recollect, gather up that energy, connect with the breath. So I hope you enjoyed tree pose. Let me know if you had any questions or if you want some modifications that I didn't list in the video. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. It's a playful pose. It's really fun. It's really great for getting that balance and strengthening all those little tiny muscles that help us stay standing.